Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently 62,842, down 4.52%. Ethereum 4109, down 0.32%. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. I've hidden knowledge gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. Rule 774, master yourself to master the market. This is a really vital rule. Literally, mastering yourself is the key and secret of life itself. I'd like to cover a slightly different aspect of Rule 968, start each day in gratitude. Having gratitude for every day is a beautiful thing. Starting each day in gratitude, and of course ending each day in gratitude, gives you a wonderful quality of life. There are so many things to be grateful for, and so many wonderful and positive things to focus on in life. Inner and outer peace, I talk about them a lot. They're really important. They're components of real wealth. Fulfillment and meaning, purpose and fearlessness, empathy and love, these are all beautiful things to focus on. There's so many things we can be grateful for, and so many ways that we can act with gratitude every single day. But of course, like everything, real wealth starts with the choice to want it. In the past, we've talked about making in advance probabilistic choices, basically knowing what you'll do if things go right or things go wrong or things just bubble along as they are. This also applies to life. Life, it's easy to get angry or upset or dismayed over things that happen. It's harder to look at life with a positive attitude and remain cool, calm and collected. There's so many things that literally attack us every day in life. When we talk about gratitude and waking up with a sense of gratitude and going to bed with a sense of gratitude, what that is all about is a choice. And it's a choice just to look at the positive aspects in life. There's always something beautiful out there. Doesn't matter how murky the day is, how bad things are, there's always something really precious to look at. It's very nice to know that opportunities reset every day. There's always beauty around us. There's always wonderful things happening. Sometimes they're hard to find, but they are always there. It's interesting too how gratitude plays out on the KS zone analysis, the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. In zone 1, there's internal panic. There's not much gratitude there. There's a lot of terror there. In zone 2, that's external panic and conflict, attacking others. There's not much gratitude there. In the patience and rule zone, there is more gratitude, but the gratitude really resides in zone 4, which is the meaning zone. Having gratitude is a really fast way of getting into zone 4. One of the fastest ways to get into zone 4 is to understand you're incredibly worthy and you're unique. Only you can be you. And you are here for a reason. You deserve every kindness, beautiful amounts of love and meaning in your life, and every success in life. Know this to be true because it is. You're really special. You deserve to be in zone 4, and of course have the financial security of zone 3 as well. Rule 32, find the market's focus. This is an incredibly profitable rule. We can start by using our understanding of the fear and greed index. What are we looking at? We're looking at a lot of greed, a lot of optimism in the market. When the market gets very optimistic, it tends to get overheated. It needs to cool down a little. We've been following the percent supply of Bitcoin in profit. Yesterday it was 100%, and I mentioned things are getting a little overheated. It would be likely that we would have some form of price decrease happen, and that's exactly what happened in the past trading session. When we have very overheated markets, the shorts come in, to cool the market down, and they work symbiotically with the longs. They're certainly not enemies. We can see when we get up to these very, very high levels of profitability in the market, the shorts tend to come in and sell them down, but the market structure is overwhelmingly positive. That's the most important thing to understand. Also, on the other side, when the market gets too cold, the longs come in and heat the market up. That's why I say they work hand in hand, although sometimes it may not feel like that. Looking at Bitcoin futures open interest across all exchanges, we're seeing this very clear association between price and the increase in futures open interest across all exchanges. We've seen a really big bump in the futures open interest. It's currently sitting at around 26 billion. In fact, it's 26.057 billion. Getting the real-time data, we can see it's 25.88. This negative variance is explaining this drop in price. I mentioned previously that when futures open interest gets too peaky or just explodes upwards, we typically have a correction. Now, when I say correction, I don't mean there's anything to be concerned about. It's just how the market works. The price is always moving in a wave, up and down. We can use the futures open interest to give us a kind of an understanding as to when a pullback might be occurring. Of course, with the crypto market, things are just starting to heat up. So I view any of these pullbacks as a very good time to get into the market. Looking at the Bitcoin stablecoin supply ratio SSR oscillator, we can see momentum under the hood of the engine of crypto. Basically, stablecoins are coming into the market and being converted into Bitcoin. This is supporting this upward pressure on prices. It's driving the crypto market higher. Over the past 24 hours, there's been 425.53 million in liquidations across 78,374 traders. Around 76% of those liquidations have been long, but we can see it's really still very, very low levels of liquidation compared to how much leverage is in the system. Bitcoin is currently trading at 62,900. Yesterday, we saw Bitcoin getting up above this level of price discovery, and then it retested the support line and failed and broke through. This could be because Evergrande's $2.6 billion asset sale fell through. This is potentially putting downward pressure on the markets. Now, thank you again, M. The Evergrande default is going to become possible or going to become likely in about 2 days and 15 hours. That means we'll probably know the markets will react, how the markets will react within this current day or in around 3.5 days' time. We can see this little pullback at the moment, but this is really nothing more than just price action. I've mentioned before that I've seen so many times in financial markets when the price reaches an all-time high, generally it sells off, and it is just normal stuff. I know everybody's crying out, go all in and more, sell everything to buy more Bitcoin. This is traditionally what happens inside markets. We have levels of support at 42.55. Very nice level of support coming in at 59.394. I've actually have my own personal, of course, 10-5-10 fund. What the 10-5-10 fund is, because I saw a couple of new people ask about it, you can think of a price starting at $10, it goes down to $5. When it goes from 10 to 5, that's a 50% reduction. When it goes from 5 back up to 10, that is 100% increase. A 10-5-10 volatility fund is simply to take advantage of these kind of movements in the market. Bitcoin and crypto is incredibly volatile, and we can use that volatility to our advantage. We have very strong levels of support at 52,658, 49,691, 53,89. What I would love to see, and this is just to use the 10-5-10 volatility fund, is a long tail rejection. This is a long tail rejection here. It came down and then shot back up straight away. It's like price doesn't want to stay down there. It wants to party. It wants to go up. We are in a positive phase of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is definitely the future, and crypto is the future as well. So it really comes down to making your decisions probabilistically ahead of time. This is why I also talk about Rule 94, let price come to you. What it means practically, say the price was just up here and you said, Evergrande is coming up, okay, new all-time high, I'm going to layer in my purchases down here as low as I can go. And you could have, for example, a percentage of your funds to capture in focus price movements. That would be anything above this line. And then you could have the 10-5-10 volatility fund to capture any long tail rejections, sort of flash crashes that could happen down here. And then you go busily about your day because you've got orders inside the market. And so many people here were partying hard. No wonder, it's fantastic news. But when I look at it, I don't party. I just say, oh, okay, well, the most probable likely outcome is to see a retracement, especially with the Evergrande situation at the moment. But I think the crypto markets will shake it off. It really needs to be seen, but I'm not seeing a lot of weakness in crypto at all. This doesn't mean that I think the Evergrande situation is FUD. It is by no means FUD at all. It's just that I think the world's attention is on crypto, and it's going to be very widely adopted. You really need to believe in what you're getting into. If you put your money in something, if you don't believe in it, you will just get shaken out. The Bitcoin and crypto is the future of basically the next internet. It's really something that you can believe strongly in. I know that there's a lot of communities and they go mooning all over the place, rocket to the moon, and of course that's fun. But always consider the downside risk. We can get 20-40% downturns even when the rocket is going up to the moon. That's why we have the 10-5-10 volatility fund. You can see from this price action that it came up and broke its lower support line here. That's when the 10-5-10 volatility index fund can come in handy. This is what it's really all about, using volatility to work for you instead of work against you and kick you out of the market. If we look at this big increase from the previous bull run, we can see price just went parabolic, and then it came down around 40% to this particular level. So many people would have said, I've missed out. Okay, I'll get in. Bang, price crunches them. Oh, I made the wrong decision, I'll get out. And it goes up again. The overwhelming trend is positive. I believe even with Evergrande, I believe that the markets will just shake that off, the crypto market. If we're wrong, and we'll deal with it then. But it looks like it's okay at the moment. If that changes for any reason, of course, I will let you know. That's why I always talk about making in advance probabilistic choices. For example, just think about the Evergrande situation. If Evergrande turns into a financial contagion and you see a 60% decrease or 80% decrease, or there is a likelihood of sharp price sell-offs, what are you going to do? If you're an investor, I would recommend that you just hold, because we're in the best market on the planet. It's just starting to kick into steam. Or for example, would you use the 10-5-10 fund, the spare cash that you've taken from profitable trades? Would you use that and apply it to buy that falling knife down? That's what I would do. Turning to Ethereum, currently trading at 40.86, we can see Ethereum's price just went parabolic up to the previous all-time high, hit that with a long tail rejection, and came back and started hugging that support line. It got too far away from mum or dad, depending on what line you see this as, and said, oh, I need a bit of love so I can gain momentum to get through that. Price is like this all the time. This is very, very common behavior. When everybody's talking about all-time highs and rockets going to the moon, there's a time for that, of course. And we're getting close, I believe. I think that we'll see some volatility around the Evergrande situation, but I see that nothing more as an absolutely incredible opportunity to get in, but not at the current price, buying at layers down. Literally, you can put in your orders and just walk away and say, I don't really care if it hits or it doesn't hit, I'm just going to relax. It's taken many, many years for me to get to this level to say, basically I place my orders down. And because crypto is so volatile, it can just literally spike down, eat those orders up, just fulfill those orders and then just shoot up again. That's just the nature of crypto. It is unlike any other market on the planet, and I just love it. I hope by sharing what I know, you'll come to love it as well, if you don't already. Now, what are we seeing here? Very strong levels of support at 36.49, 35.90, 33.19. And of course, we have that intermediate range down to around 38.39. It really comes down to what is going to happen with Evergrande. We'll know between 1 day to 3 days or 3.5 days. So we'll just keep our eye on it. But the current momentum of the market tends to suggest to us that crypto is disregarding Evergrande at the moment. Let's just have a quick look at how the main markets are dealing with it. The Nasdaq 100, the technology index, is also shrugging off. This is the futures. So the futures have spiked up a little bit and recovered. Let's just see how that one plays out. We can see here that we had a slight sell-off in Bitcoin. The dollar, the DXY, is coming back to a level of support. Just literally at that level right now. We would expect a bit of a bounce. The fear in the market, the VIX, is just plummeting through the floor. This is a very, very good sign. That basically means that there is no real high levels of fear in the market. That also translates to increasing prices in the main market. We can see the bond prices coming down, the yields coming up. Gold is coming up. Good on you, gold. Fantastic, making a move up. You'll make Peter Schiff very happy. Hi, Peter. Let's have a look at the light crude oil futures. They're also coming up, but you can see there's a little bit of consolidation around here. If I was to draw a trend line up here, now I can make it various ways from that peak, or I can just push it through lower price action. We can see there's a curving down here. I would imagine over perhaps the coming weeks, because markets, the main markets, move like grass growing, we could probably expect light crude oil futures, light crude oil, to start coming down a little bit. We'll just keep our eye on it. You can also notice, going back to Ethereum, that the relative strength is coming out of the market. We're also seeing the same thing with Bitcoin at the moment. Generally, when the relative strength reaches these really low values, as it does, they can be fantastic buying opportunities. So let's have a look at the Binance top cryptos. What do we see here? Ooh, sneaky graph. It's going for it. It's wanting to party hard. It's up 30.62% in the last 14 days. Having a look at DOT, what is DOT doing? It's starting to lose a bit of momentum, especially relative to the graph. We'll look at graph later. Let's look at Solana. Solana is coming up. Solana's done very well. Next is MATIC, VET, Bitcoin, Ethereum, FTT, Litecoin, XLM. Let's do the top 8 analysis. What we're really doing here is we're trying to focus on where the market has focus. The market's focus doesn't mean it's a good or a bad project. It just means that we're trying to statistically analyze price movement. Looking at Bitcoin, I'll just explain what these horizontal lines mean. When Bitcoin sold off here, I just drew a horizontal line across from that top. That horizontal line here is now mirrored in all of these other charts. And there's quite a few charts, but that's where it comes from. Now, what can we see here? Bitcoin's price is above that horizontal line. We see with Ethereum, it's coming back to that horizontal line. Binance Coin under the horizontal line. Poor old ADA. It's like gold, isn't it? It's just suffering down here. But we can see there's a bit of a turnaround, but there's nothing conclusive happening in ADA's price. It's kind of leveling out and consolidating. Looking at XRP, we can see XRP is below that sort of Bitcoin equivalent line. And looking at Solana, Solana came up to that previous high, which was in Bitcoin, and just been rejected currently. We can see DOGE is below. We can see DOT is above. What we're actually doing here, we're trying to see what the market has in focus. If you're a trader, you probably want to go, well, you do want to go with the momentum of the market. If you're an investor, you'd probably go exactly the opposite way. For example, if you're an investor and you love Cardano, ADA would be really good to buy at these potential levels when you have a confirmed crossing or leveling off of consolidation. Then you can go in stronger. And that just makes your limited capital more effective. You wouldn't necessarily want to add unless it's just your focus, and maybe you just want to accumulate Cardano. So you've done all your due diligence, you've done your tokenomics, you've looked at everything, and you've said, yeah, I'm going to get into Cardano no matter what the price. Then you could of course go in, but money is always limited. That's where a trading mindset can become very, very superior to your returns. And after all, the return is what you're after. When you see Cardano starting to break out from its consolidation, that's the perfect time to get in if you were an ADA investor. Why is that? Because you're actually using your money really, really effectively to track the best possible returns. Let's have a look at ALGO. ALGO is still consolidating. We've got a bit of upward price support here. This is what I see when I look at this. If I just draw a trend line reasonably close to the price action, I can see this upward support. It's starting to accumulate along that line. That's really positive. It'd be very interesting where it comes, where it actually heads to for ALGO. Let's have a look at SHIB. SHIB is doing really well. Rule 109, enhanced pattern recognition. I want to show you something, what I see with SHIB. Applying rule 109 here, and I may just give this as a question to our community. What do you see with SHIB's pattern that mirrors ALGO's pattern? I'll just give a little bit more information. You can see SHIB just rocketed up here. You can see ALGO rocketed up, but not with the same strength as SHIB, with a weaker rocket, but it was still a really good rocket, no question about it. What happened next? What happened to ALGO? It rocketed up and started to wander down the stairs. and went up the stairs and started to wander down the stairs. What's happening with SHIB? Rocketed up, mid-air refueling, came back, wandering down the stairs. What do you see in terms of the maturity of this pattern, one to the other? Please let me know in the comments section on YouTube. It's really fantastic to share what you see. We've got an incredibly beautiful and supportive community. Everybody is there to help each other. Let's have a look at Luna. Luna has consolidated above the line, and Luna's been very, very strong. Uni below the line, but we can see upward price momentum here. Go Uni. It's always good to go to Uni. AVAX, we can see AVAX is above the line, coming down but starting to consolidate. We can, having a look at Chainlink. Chainlink is below that previous Bitcoin high. That is what that line means. I always use consistency in all of my diagrams. I draw the same line on all the charts to create relative comparative analysis. Litecoin, we can see Litecoin reacted really strongly to the surge and was pushed back. Bitcoin Cash price action is below that Bitcoin high level, or Bitcoin sell-off level. In the next group of 8, I want to draw your attention to Bitcoin's fingerprint. Bitcoin's fingerprint is this line in this kind of gold color behind the chart. I want you to look at these charts and just think to yourself, is Bitcoin's fingerprint pretty much matching the existing price action? On XLM, Stellar, you can see it's almost hiding the relative price action of Bitcoin. But for Filecoin, look at the divergence, look at the difference here. Filecoin is going down, Bitcoin going up. What about Cosmos, Atom? What do we see here? You can see that there was a huge degree of push up when Bitcoin was coming down. This is why we do this analysis. There's always opportunities in the market, always an opportunity to make money. But like all things, you have to have the awareness of what is moving. And that's why I do this every day with you. It gives tremendous capability to look at the markets. What about MATIC? What's happening with Polygon? Polygon is pretty much in sync with Bitcoin's gravity at the moment. What about ICP? ICP is not moving in line with Bitcoin's gravity. Now, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. At some stage, these underperformers will need to snap back. That's just the way it works in the crypto market. But just be aware that they can underperform for continuous periods of time. We need to get some form of confirmation. What about Axie Infinity? Axie Infinity is pretty much harmonizing with Bitcoin's price action. Not exactly, but just directionally. We just need to keep our eye on Axie. Such a good project. It makes a lot of money. From a financial analyst perspective, we always look at the revenue, cash flows, all sorts of things to discount back to a market capitalization. When you look at Axie, it's pulling in a lot of money. Looking at FTT or FTX token, it certainly wants to party, but the police have been called in. Shut that party down. But we see that the party goers have support, so I think they're going to overpower them. Let's have a look at Tron. Tron, very nice upward support here and close to taking out that level. Let's have a look at the next group of 8. Ethereum Classic, well away from that previous sell-off high. Phantom, doing well, consolidating with strength above that previous sell-off. That is looking very, very nice. Let's have a look here. If we draw a reasonably close line to this price action, what do we see here? A lot of support. This enormous price action consolidated with positive air above that previous high. That is a very good thing. Now we could draw a line from here to here. It's almost like Phantom wants to party. Phantom party. How interesting would that be? Okay. If you're new to our community, of course, welcome. And what does positive air mean? Positive air means the price action is above support, and continuous positive air means that it's staying above support. The price action is staying above support to the degree that you need to draw a new support line. That is what we call pre-party takeoff mode. We're all into partying inside our community. We love to party. I think Phantom is going to party. It's looking really, really good. Let's have a look at Theta. Poor old Theta. It's really well below. And if we look at this particular price action, it is coming up. That downtrend has been overcome. It's just a sort of a weekly making its way up. Go Theta, you're such a good project. You can get it together. You can do it. Let's have a look at HBAR. HBAR is looking very nice. We can see there is a lot of strength in HBAR, and this very, very close support level. I know that traditionally people in conventional technical analysis draw things like this. You can't do that in crypto. You need to keep it really, really close because crypto is so incredibly volatile. You can't do the spikes because spikes are everywhere. You've got to go closer to the price action. Tell me what you think about Phantom and HBAR. Let's have a look at Tezos. Tezos, we can see a series of higher lows playing in here. We also see that we're either coming just back to a trend, support trend line, or have just cut through one, depending on how we draw that line. This is really, really interesting price action. Tezos is above the line, and because it's above the line, it has the market's focus. This is probably just a retesting of support in this case. Cake, what's happening with Cake? We see Cake starting to turn around. It's got support through here. If you just draw that line with your eye, just trying to amass price action, remember, you're an artist. With your technical analysis, you can do whatever you want. There's a lot of people that say the technical analysis rule must be absolutely requiring these particular points to touch. Sorry for doing that accent. Wasn't a very good accent. But the concept is conventional TAs, technical analysts, have a substantial problem with crypto because crypto is exponential by nature. It's not linear, and it's very, very fast moving as well. It's supersonic. And I say that the traditional markets are like watching grass grow. EGLD, Elron, what's cooking with Elron? We can see it's above the line. It's quite supportive in terms of price. I wouldn't be surprised if EGLD attempts a breakout. It's looking quite positive overall. We just have to keep in mind with the Evergrande situation, and I believe that's probably the critical issue that the markets are facing now. Just a little bit of risk off in structural uncertainty times. Now, when I say that, please don't panic. Risk off doesn't mean go all out of the market. It's not like that at all. We always talk about zone 3 and 4 as scaling in and scaling out of positions. Zone 1 and 2 is like, I need 100% certainty. I can't make any loss. I need to be correct 100% of the time. The best way to do that is just sell everything. Don't do that. You need to be in the market. The market is the best market in the world. That's why in Zone 3, we talk about fearlessly acting on probability. So what it means is that in Zone 3, we just acknowledge the Evergrande situation is on the cards, and we are just taking it seriously. A lot of people just automatically label any bad news as FUD. It's a very, very big mistake to do that. We need to be aware. We need to watch the markets. If the markets repair, we can say, it didn't matter. They shrugged it off. And that's great. That's what we want. The overarching trend in crypto is for higher prices. That's always important to know. We just simply have a 10-5-10 fund to take advantage of sudden dips that catch other people by surprise, but we're not caught by surprise. We're expecting it. Monero is under this particular line. I just say it's underwater, but I think maybe a better term is it's just below this line. We can see that there was a good degree of uptake in Monero, and it's come back and formed a higher low. So this could be a potential point of support. Let's have a look at the community favorites. I think it's really important to look at as many possible charts as you can. That gets your pattern recognition skills beyond anything that anyone has. Conventionally, most people just look at one specific chart. I would argue look at as many as you can. Let's have a look at VRA. VRA, and this, remember, this line is the line that we drew from that date with Bitcoin's previous sell-off. We're trying to see how these particular tokens are obeying Bitcoin's gravity. We can see Bitcoin's gravitational pull in this gold line behind these charts. We're particularly looking for divergence. Actually, that's a really interesting point. In these community picks, can you see any particular tokens that have divergence from Bitcoin's fingerprint, or are they all moving together? Just let me know in the comments what you think. That's really important stuff to be able to understand Bitcoin's relative percent correlation with current price action. That's just a fancy way of saying, do they move together on a directional basis? Veracity. Oh, Veracity has such veracity. We can see Veracity is above the line. It's doing well. It's got a lot of power in it. As well, Icon also has a lot of power. It's consolidating. Notice these consolidation patterns. Up the lift, down the stairs. Typically 2 sets of stairs. Just watch out for that. It's really, really good. What do we see here with NEAR? NEAR up the lift, down the stairs. 2 sets of stairs. Oh, have a look at that. How intriguing. What does that mean? This is a really good thing for you to look at. When does something break out? Very, very good and very important to understand. Let's have a look at Helium. Helium HNT is just below the line. We can see a low, a higher low here. Let's keep our eye on that. That's looking quite interesting. Decred is just below the line at the moment. Hopefully this higher low will hold and support the price going up. What do we see with Cartesi? Cartesi wanted to party, but what happened? Oh, those bad neighbors. They called the police in to come and turn the music down. But this is a party token. When we look at this support going up. It's likely the music has been turned down only to be turned up at a later stage. Having a look at Harmony. Harmony is definitely in harmony with this support line. Go Harmony. You're number one, Harmony. Sorry, had to do a play on words. Look at the graph. Graph is partying hard. Now what do we know about hard partying? The noisy neighbors could call in the nosy neighbors could call in the police to come and turn the noise down at the party. Oh my god, I'm stumbling over my words here. Sorry about that. I'm just so excited. Now what we see here is a series of higher lows being formed. Does this mean it will shoot through the price? From a probabilistic stance, it's likely to come back and retest a support line. This is why inside our community, we never go all in. If you hear the words all in, be very careful about listening to the particular person that says that. That person does not understand financial markets and doesn't understand crypto. Crypto is never all in. You have to be really careful, and you can ride waves and volatility, and it's a very, very profitable thing to do. I'd like to thank all the very generous community members who reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. Thank you so much, everyone. I'd like to say thank you to someone, PV Schoolhouse, Oscar. Thank you, Oscar. In the previous episode, we talked about a masterclass, and it was a very overwhelming response. Thank you so much, everyone. I particularly was just so touched by some of your stories. I mentioned that if you were interested in the masterclass, just to reach out and directly message me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at the username @StanfieldKen. You have to be a little bit careful. There are a lot of scammers around. Scammers do all sorts of things. You can just remember, I'd like to stand in the field, Ken. S-T-A-N-D, stand, F-I-E-L-D, and Ken. If you just come in here, you can drop me a message, a direct message. I'd love to say hi. If that is not available to you, Twitter is not available, you can actually reach out to me on Facebook. Alternatively, you can reach out on Facebook, the Crypto Trading KS group. I'll make sure there's a link in the description of this video for that, if Twitter is not your thing. And then you can just directly message me and I'll give you some more information about the masterclass. Thank you to JB from Sweden. My ancestors were from Sweden. That's so cool. Love your approach to life and join the masterclass. Thanks so much, JB. Nitin, want to master myself to master the market. Fantastic. That is literally what it's all about. It's Joey M time. Thanks, Ken, for transforming this light switch to a light dimmer. Good on you, Joey. You're a legend. The KS zone analysis makes me laugh at my previous investing habits. I think there's so many wonderful people in our community. Martin, moving from zone 2 into zone 3. Well done, my friend. It's beautiful. And 80 Satoshis, deep gratitude. Fantastic. You're so welcome. And thank you for everybody that's contributed and shown their appreciation through the coffee club. It's just so beautiful of you. And for the coffee club members, as a sign of my appreciation for your generosity, each month I bring out just a special video for the coffee club, just as my way of saying thank you for your generosity. You'll be seeing the November coffee club video in about 8 days. Just returning to rule 968, start each day in gratitude, and of course end each day in gratitude. Now, what could get in the road of that? Of course, suffering gets in the road of it. Suffering either enslaves you or you can release it to be free. It's really important to understand suffering is a cage that we lock ourselves in. We can change our minds on our suffering. We can learn from it. And that's the key. You become stronger when you undergo suffering. Of course, it can be really, really difficult to learn the lessons that suffering has buried deep within it. But those lessons can be literally life-changing and can unlock so much happiness in life too. Suffering is often caused by setbacks, losses, and disappointment. Overcoming those things unlocks real wealth. It's just beautiful to understand that opportunities reset daily, and looking for the gratitude in each day and night can be literally life-changing. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care. and see you next time. Bye for now.